First Neko arc, and now this? Apparently we have the power to wield these to reality. So come on, people. Bloody Roar, rival schools, etc., etc., etc. God, there's so many to list. Oh. Evo news. Where do I begin? Well, I begin with welcome to Searching for RinoaCast, the Searching for Rinoa podcast. I love fighting games. I love when fighting games come back. Already out the gate, these beautiful designs. CVS3, don't play with my dick like that, please. What is confirmed by 1UP Arcade, speaking of Capcom Versus, an Evo staple of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and all the rest of the Marvel Capcom Arcade, at least the fighting games, and see Punisher on there or anything. Apparently 2 SNES games listed on the bottom. I know it's $800 and there's better, cheaper ways to get these games and play them, but can't help but speculate and dream that, wish and hope that Capcom and Marvel come back together and get it right this time. This is a newer, fresher Capcom after all. People really liking Street Fighter 6 so far. Why not have another go at versus Marvel with another big seller? Anyways, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, you get rollback netcode. Samurai Showdown, you get rollback netcode. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, didn't even realize that was still a thing, but you get rollback netcode. Pocket Bravery, you ain't even out yet. Just a demo on Steam right now, but you get rollback netcode. When do I get rollback netcode? That's the thing, you didn't. Online tournament? Can't believe it's already been 10 years of Skullgirls. An unplayable final boss, no more. Trailer implies that Marie has broken free of the Skull Heart and may play differently than the final boss? I don't know. It didn't say much. It just... Either way, that's exciting news. If we are going by that trailer of what little we saw, are we getting a skull-hearted up peacock? King of Fighters 15 gets crossplay, type Lumina getting more than just those 2 free DLC characters I mentioned last time in Neko Arc and Kide? But a touch-up on a lot of modes and online and whatnot. Strive the same deal among a whole Season 2 of characters. Tekken 8 is happening, unless it's Tekken Tag 3? Don't know. It's just this short trailer of Kazuya's Tekken 1 ending, and when he dumps Heihachi, it's like, oh, now it's... I guess they upscaled it. Looks like a next battle. At last, Tekken got a little nuts with the DLC, and I'm not even talking about the guest characters. Like, you had a lot of cool new characters that are just kind of, again, just thrown by the wayside. They have, like, cool concepts, but there's a YouTube video by the Fourth Snake called Asuka Kazuma Wasted Plot Potential that kind of sums up how I feel, and pretty much fell out of Tekken. I've always said Leroy Smith is way too cool to not to be his own character or carry his own game. That look that he has like cover of your game box written all over him. But yeah, it kept growing and growing, and so did the part where it growed that unless you're a Mishima, you ain't shit and don't ask Harada. I got on the Tekken 3 hype. That game ruled. Same with Tekken Tag 1 when I got the PlayStation 2. Tekken 4 to me is still one of the prettiest PS2 games I've ever seen. Tekken 5 with the clothing stuff was probably a little much for me, but I stuck with that. One of my top 10 openings in fighting games. Sparking! Tekken 6 is where the decline started for me. I like Tag 2 because my Unga Bunga brain's all about the Mac bring me everyone for rosters. I haven't gotten Tekken 7 yet, but that's almost all fighting games that are new right now that I... With the whole thing with DLC, I'm like, when's it done? I'm like, yeah, I'll hype, but isn't the game done in like under maybe like 15-20 so I can purchase it myself? For that small Tekken 7 trailer, though, I tweeted, Brain, Tekken 8, Big Brain, Tekken Tag 3, Galaxy Brain, Tekken vs. Street Fighter. Anyway, speaking of Street Fighter, new girl with the kicks and possibly ninja-like Ibuki? Yeah, it's Kimberly, one of our super artists, like, tagging. I'm like, okay, it's Isla. That needs to be a thing for CVS3 if that ever comes to pass. Who's that Catwomaning on the bike, though? Oh, it's Judy. She's looking great. Got the, I don't know, it feels like Capcom seeing what Lu Wang and SNK brought and decided to give us feet. Man, that got leaked too. Prevent Street Fighter 6 leaks challenge impossible. And then Season 2 Strive. There's our boy. There's our boy. There's our boy. There's our best boy. Bridget, how have you been? Are you still doing the bounty hunting thing? How's the family? How's Roger? Oh, you're out today? Yeah, you ain't coming soon. You're now. Love to see Guilty Gear take the final slot for Evo. Someone who spent hours just playing that Guilty Gear Double X for my PlayStation 2. Like, one of my earliest fighting games was, I think, that in MVC2. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I hit a treasure trove that day. Ooh, spent hours on both those games. Spent days on both those games. Tomb 4 has been revealed for King of Fighters 15. Nakaruru returns from 14. But now it's a team of all Samurai Showdown characters with main pro tag Haomaru and one of the newer characters in the badass Darlie Dagger. Big time shoutouts to a YouTube channel I've recently followed in Thorgy's Arcade for calling it in his build the roster for KOF 15. So that's protagonists from 4 SNK titles and 1 KOF. Can we get 5? Metal Slug, World Heroes, Fighter's History, Maximum Impact, Last Blade, Boriki 1. Gotta turn that 4 into an 8 in Subway. And then we see some single DLC characters. I mean, Shingo Yabuki started out in 97 as a single slot. Kim Kef-Wan confirmed as well because, dude, it's Kim. It feels like, it has that feeling like when KOF goes without King or Mai. While that has happened, it's still weird when it does. I know I played mostly the console versions and they rectify their absence, but arcade? But the more I thought about it though, I looked and saw Kim and Shingo are just drawings. They're not finished yet compared to the 3D stuff. So either they are single characters or it's possible they're getting tombs. Like I said, they just show drawings, not the final in-game look most of these future DLCs have been. Even Omega Rugal, who stood alone, got that in-game look. So I'm speculating that they're getting tombs, if not the tomb of Shingo, Kim, and a third. I feel like those two would get along nicely enough. If Shingo does lead, though, I like the idea of, since he's like KOF and Kyo, we need a like Fatal Fury character in Alice, and a like Art of Fighting in Marco Rodriguez, since he's a different Kyokugen representative. Especially with Marco Rodriguez, as if to say, hey, Garou 2's a thing! Woohoo! God, SNK fans already eating good, and then it's like, oh, you didn't even get to the steak yet. You didn't even get to the, you even get to your upside down pineapple cake or whatever. Yeah, before Garou 2, I had an episode title that was news that came from a different game. Something that's not fighting games. I finally get to bring this segment back, so hit that Gen 9 music. Aha! You know what it is. Red and purple, red and purple, red and purple, red and purple. Doing Gen 9, Renault was peeping it. Red and purple, red and purple, red and purple, red and purple. We have a name for the region, Paldea. An old man by the name of Clavel starts you on the treasure hunt. I don't remember if I mentioned this last time I did Red and Purple, but the game path is freer than usual. You know, you do gyms in any order, so I guess you pick this Pokemon, like, here's the easy mode, medium, and hard route to do it, or something like that. Again, I'm not sure what they mean by that, but yeah, they're saying you can do gyms in any order. It's like this unsupervised school field trip sanctioned by this guy. You do have classrooms. Homeroom teacher Jacques develops the Pokédex app on your Rotom phone. 2 academy classmates you'll meet are the long-haired Arvin, looking loud and fancy with that mane of his, and the reserved Penny with the ruby in front, sapphire in the back hair, and a Eevee backpack. If there's a Rotom phone, can we get other Pokemon-shaped accessories? Maybe like a Tentacruel shower cap? No, I'm serious though. They could be items in exploration, like here's this area with downed power lines or something to that effect in this marshy area with a lot of water types, but The terrain makes it easier to catch water types, and they'll start off when you go in to catch them, they'll start the battle paralyzed. I'm like, oh, how nice, they did the work for me. Or some electric types that can absorb it. And it's like, oh, now there's a better chance for a super rare ability to be absorbing all that electricity running around along the shallow water. You know, rare variations, like change it up a little bit. But it's dangerous to you. Okay, I need an item to traverse it safely. Sandshoe slippers. Sandshrews. Just a thought. Anyway, back to the trailer that shows you can ride the legendaries. Keeping with that representation, although both have wheels, only the future one uses them. Koraidon uses its legs to run all just Flintstones in the long. Really exploring with these two. You can glide with them, you can go across water with them, and all-terrain Pokemon. Probably gonna kick some running shoes his ass. Are we still using those, or do you automatically run now? Have we evolved past running shoes? 4-player co-op with that shot of 4 trainers all riding the legendaries. I see shiny Pokeballs thrown, and I thought, can you create your own shiny Pokemon? How's that gonna work? No, they're all shiny and lustered up, but not a shiny Pokemon. No, this is a new mechanic called Terrastall. Terrastall? A once per battle gimmick that can change a Pokemon's type to something different by the sounds of things. Each one's going to be different, so one person's Lechonk Terrastall type might differ from the other, maybe? You could use this, I guess, to cover up weakness or use its power in one big shot of this new type. And then it's find crystals or a Pokemon Center to recharge this. Now, does each Pokemon in your party get this? Or is it like a one Pokemon only thing, like, you know, your Mega Stones when that... But yeah, I'm thinking of that, like, okay, it's got to be only one of your 6 that would keep battles quicker. Also, I'm not sure if the Terra Orb is a Pokemon hold item or not. But to push this new mechanic, pre-orders, you get to have this Terra-starred Pikachu. Remember Flying Pikachu from the card game? It's back in Gen 9 mode. You have a chance to turn it and make it, like, immune to ground attacks. I'm like, oh, that's going to be... But you've got till February 28th of next year to claim this dubious little creature. Raid battles make a return with this mechanic in mind. Instead of Gigamax, you catch the Terra-starred Pokemon and some rewards that goes with the battle. Huge ups to Cerebu.net on everything I'm listing here, including some of the version exclusives already. It's been a week since I wrote this down, but so far, Stonjourner and the Tyranitar line of Pokemon are Scarlet exclusive. Ice-Q and the Salamence line of Pokemon go with Violet. But 3 new Pokemon got revealed. The sort of looking uncooked Fido. 2-in-1 podcast. Fairy type. Maybe when it evolves, it gets fully cooked and it becomes bread. Like it's kind of like brown on top, but it's still like, it's mostly white underneath. I'm like, you only get the tops done. Put it back in. It's not fully cooked. Satitan, rough-looking customer, that's an ice type. We have this with one of the gym leaders, Grusha. Finally, original Pokemon, old Wooper from Gen 2 with these fancy things on the sides and its water ground. New Paldean Wooper, that they're already calling Pooper, which can be argued to be short for Paldean Wooper. Pooper. Feels like the Young Goose Trump discourse all over again, except this time it's for a Pokemon I like. Does Paldean Quagsire get arms? But yeah, look, Gen 9 looking like the Skull and Crossbones to its poison ground as opposed to water ground. But yeah, I love the old water ground setup. Took one weakness completely away and made one weakness even stronger. That's the trade up. But I almost always go fire types for starters, so I have that covered too. The problem is it was very slow and not quite the tank Shellos and Gastrodon was later on. That covers all that. Now to my usual stuff. What am I playing? Right now, with a working right analog stick, the tougher fights will be easier for me to complete in me re-downloading Azure Lane Crosswave. I've already seen the story. I can, alright, I can skip that and get right to the grinding and the leveling up of characters and affections to unlock all things and plat this baby. In the immediate future. Immediate future, you say? That sounds like the perfect segue for coming soon. Coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, coming going to mute this because this will probably get hit by whatchamacallit if I don't. I don't know, the song kind of... I know that did a react to Mori and that got hit. Anyway, Arcade Paradise got some mini games here. Aisaki. It looks like Rally X or Grand Theft Auto Presents. Same font. Yeah, start from the bottom, now you're here. This is Arcade Paradise, Rags to Riches. So you not only get the games, but you gotta run the set itself. Gotta run the arcade. Pick up the trash. Get these out of here. Go home, start your game again. Do more washing. Clean the toilet. Boop, boop. Discover a back room. Oh. Barkanoid. Get your monies. God, one of my arcades back in Philadelphia was this, I think it was like a thrift store or something like that. There was like arcade machines off to the side. Like one place for like foodstuffs. And then most of the back stuff was like, all these like clothes and stuff like that. I don't know. I can't remember what the place is even called. It's just a corner store, but mostly like just all clothes, and then that's just this little side off where the arcade was. Gotta repair and everything. Anyway. That comes out the 11th. This comes out the 12th. Waifus and bullets. I'm like, I'm already doing this for Azure, but yeah, it's more of a strategy kind of game here, as you can see. You get stuff ahead of time. Yeah, I don't think anything too special, but looks like just something you can lose time in and just be like, hey. It's got that RPG kind of overlook. Yeah, Super Bullet Break. That comes out the 12th. Another game that comes out the 12th that I don't have I couldn't find like a short trailer for, but I mentioned that roguelike Cult of Lamb back during the early summer with Devolver Digital Showcase. That's also the 11th. Now let's bring it back to the next segment. The Adventures of Platinum Hunting. Tracksuit! So I didn't jump on the new Melty Blood. There were a lot of games on the troop I wanted to get, some of which easy platinums, but still fun. First was Word Mesh, which at first glance I thought was a Paugy game, but no, it's a word find game. With boards as small as 6x6 and as big as 20x20. 6 sizes in all, a bunch of single categories you gotta complete, like animals and food. Very self-explanatory trophy list. Only took me a while on this because a 20x20 got me down and I had some time to just go, well, time to make some Rinoa Reacts content. So I did. Another game took me longer than usual because my power went out in the middle of it and the game does not autosave. But a retro platformer in Jack and Hat. You can jump on enemies or hit them with your baseball cap. You'll get this platinum just by playing through the game. Half hour, maybe more it'll take you to go through. Had some deaths earlier with mistimed jumps, and the game does put some enemies to knock you off, but hey, 5 deaths is a trophy. And there's even a difficulty setting at the main menu before you play to pick a mode where you have to infinite lives to make this less stressful. I got the platinum just by getting to the boss while not having to beat it. Like River City Ransom, there's a very jank-looking 2-in-1 game called The Legend of the Dragonflame High School Collection. And you're even stubbier than usual in River City Ransom, but hey, you'll very quickly get to build your character and learn stuff, like just money and have it around. It's just like, and unlike River City Ransom, and actually each item tells you, oh, it boosts this stat. Yeah, no surprise here. It's like, okay, your attack stat's boosted by this, your defense stat. Yeah, pretty straightforward, a lot more bare bones than River City Ransom, but clear every area of enemies and some bosses. Afterwards, start the game up again because there's one hidden boss to find in Boots. Hopefully your character's strong enough and stat-wise to get it. But yeah, one hidden boss to find in Boot in the first game, this bear around one of the shops, and then there's like 3 hidden bosses for the second game. That said, the second game's a little easier still because you start with some things and have a passive heal over time. Sadly, both games have the exact same layout. Go through areas until the main school, then you go up the floors with a boss on each floor, just like River City Ransom. No platinum, but I re-downloaded 100%ing Twisted Metal Black, getting that black cube at the suburbs, that whole segment. When I tried it, I was Baby Doll's car, and alright, big old truck, that's too slow. Go back to the character I already cleared story mode with, Inspector, I think that's the Killer Bride. Very fast car. You gotta drive it fast enough to go over a hill to get to rooftop, and then to rooftop, to rooftop, to rooftop. Blow up some tower. 2 more perfect jumps over more rooftops to get to it. This one took me, God. Must have been like 30 minutes to an hour because I got up and just like walk away, get unfrustrated, come back. Everything else, honestly, fairly easy enough to get. Even the 4 unlockable characters was nothing in comparison. Because again, you can God mode, infinite weapon, and one-hit kill just to get in just 2 codes to play. There's like 2 cubes you have to fall through a gap or get the jump just right and die to get, so there's that too. I like the whole criminally insane setting that this game has. Like everybody in that game all just so happens to be admitted to the same asylum. Yeah, more serious than most Twisted Metal games. I mean, no Rob Zombie like that one game. I just remember due to YouTube video searches, Calypso gets ousted by Rob Zombie for a game, or was it Sweet Tooth? Yeah, that makes more sense with the clowns now that I remember. Another 100% no plat is another Hap Inc. game. The kid looking for his game hidden by Mama has just eaten the last pudding cup and his sister's after him. Pissing everybody off in that family. The game is called My Brother Ate My Pudding. 30 levels to hide in from your angry sis. Get 30 different game overs. Some later levels were madly easier than some early ones. A handful of outside-the-box options. Gotta boot your granddad when playing goalie. When you kick a soccer ball left or right to... That's how you get a hint on how to boot the level. Like, you gotta earn that a little bit. That's if you get stuck. Last level, something extra where it all comes together, and I really enjoyed. Then you unlock this minigame where you are the sister now. Find your brother 15 times in 60 seconds to S-rank that minigame so you get a trophy for doing so. I spent an hour on that because I was also watching someone stream during and was kind of in and out on that one. Current level, 721. Platinum trophies, 431. And to close, a new trailer for the upcoming AEW game, Fight Forever. Britt Baker plays herself, playing the game with Tony Schiavone, playing as Adam Cole Baby. So already a feature that the WWE 2K games don't have. Intergender matches. You know, like the WWE games of old. We finally get to book Riho versus Pac after they teased us the very first year in AEW. Revenge! Not sure about the minigames. I guess if you keep them as fun add-ons like how Rival Schools had minigames. You know, something a little extra. I can't hate on it, but the potential to be great or grim is definitely there on those. I say Rival Schools because one game is literally the baseball game Ryoma had. It made me think of that. I'm like, oh. Set in that sports arena where Stadium Stampede happened. Please tell me that's a match type and a location. Gotta ride the horse like Adam Page. God, that's how you build a future fucking superstar, man. And then later on he became your champion. Proof is in the pudding. Can't remember the last game to do the actual hardcore fire extinguisher spot where you actually spray it at your opponent, but that's in this game. That might have been one of the early PS2 SmackDowns. Someone on Twitter listed the match types. One caught my eye, exploding barbed wire death match. Yeah, not just for Fire Pro anymore, peoples. The Casino Battle Royale, gotta have your Royal Rumble type match. No date yet, still in production, but yeah, THQ Nordic and Yuke's teaming up for this one, so potential for crazy shit to happen. And I'm all for it. God, that one SmackDown game, I don't remember which one it is, but you fought on top of, like, in front of WWE New York, you climb that building, you get to a ladder, dangle it off a helicopter, and dive off. One match in AEW had Sammy Guevara eat a full-on Matt Hardy driving a mobile. I think you could do that in older SmackDowns too, so yeah. Like I said, potential to just go balls to the wall with it again. Like the SmackDown games of old has me hyped. In more fighting game news outside of EVO, Gematsu reveals the Rumblefish 2 launches winter for all current consoles. Very limit-pushing type of 2D fighter from what I've seen. Clothing damage, offensive and defensive super meters. I did not know Tactics Ogre was a Square Enix. Maybe that was an Enix-only game pre-merger, so that would make sense. And that's what ActRaiser was pre-merger. That was an Enix-only. But that's Reborn for November 11th. Pre-orders have already begun. Coming to PS4, 5, Switch, and Steam. Intercreates makes their own Portrait of Ruin game, ? The two sisters from Galgon of all games, in a super serious gothic Castlevania kind of game, called Grim Guardians Doom and Purge. If I'm the head of Konami, I'm going, well, if I'm head of Konami, and I say we're not doing patchy slots anymore, I'm looking at that going, wow, that's a great two-player game. How come we didn't think of that for a remake of Portrait of Ruin? Need another Castlevania, but all the DS games, there's like 3 of those. Those were the sequel to... I guess you're right on the whatchamacallit. That'd be a little weird to do the... maybe that's what they're trying to figure out still, because, you know, the seal system in... I forget if Aria or Dawn is the... which one's first and which one's the sequel. But yeah, the first DS game where you had to, like, draw the seals to seal a boss. I know PS4 is like the touchpad. Switch could do it. Switch could probably... Wait, does Switch even do stylus and stuff like that anymore? I know I'm thinking Wii U when they did that. Otherwise, I think you could have brought back Mario Paint. I wonder why they didn't do that yet, Nintendo. So yeah, a lot of hype stuff coming out for all types. Mostly fighting games, but that's how EVO do. Presented by Sony. All the fighting games, none of the unwashed Smash masses. That's the podcast. I am officially tapped on React stuff as I try to scrimp and save to try and reopen that Island of Misfit LPs. That's what most of you came in for at the beginning. Yeah, definitely want to get back on that if possible. I'm going to be bummed when I've got nothing for next week's podcast, you know. Not every week's going to have this SNK smorgasbord we have received. This bounty. Been a long time since SNK held that fighting game crown. Who knows, maybe next EVO or the following year, that holds the final session. You could see a KOF 15 or a The Fatal Fury or Garou, whatever they have planned. Cool to see Stripe get that this year again, like I said. Next EVO's in March in Tokyo. Might get more news by then, but that's the podcast. Enjoy Bridget, Stripe fans? Is he trans or just cross-dressing? Play me out, Dave.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.